All right, well, we're going to go into game now. This is getting ridiculous.
Let's play some Overwatch, guys. Come on.
Yeah, come on now.
Come on.
Wrap it up. Get into game.
Chaos.
Casters, bring us into game. All right, we are the second to last game, Jake, at the knockouts. Mayhem versus Washington Justice. Even though Johnny did bait the entire Twitter sphere, the Justice haven't got a single vote on the desk, sadly. He did go 3-2. And with the Mayhem going down to the lower bracket, they are the scariest team down there. No one expected the Gladiators to just swiftly 3-0 them, and they didn't play great in that series at all. And now they're facing against the Washington Justice, another team that is considered a fairly decent dark horse, but are they enough to topple the Mayhem, real?
Well, initially I was really worried for Florida, right? Going down 3-0 to Glads, it was like, what is this? I mean, this is just not the result we expected, especially in how dominant it was. But I think the Florida Mayhem, we've heard internally from sources, GM, that really that was just, you know, it was nerves, it was them not playing their game, you know, being too worried, trying to play perfect, no one's taking initiative. Things like that can happen when you go into that high pressure scenario of an elimination tournament. Everyone wants to go to Korea, but they were right back on track against the Shock. They look strong, they look very competent, and they can play a lot of comps. Something that Justice can match, but I wonder, can they match the skill with which, you know, players like, I think RuPaul, I've been highlighting on the Florida Mayhem, he's been super important for this team. And as well, Checkmate and Merit, these guys can play basically anything you need them to. Someone, no question about his flexibility. So this is going to be, I think, a great match. I think, honestly, Gladiators have to be worried whichever one of these teams advance.
Yeah, RuPaul has just been an absolute nutcase in the end. We saw yesterday, like, the amount of fights he was just winning for his team with a single nade. It was a little ridiculous. Almost a mirror here. Just got Checkmate on the Echo versus Flora on Sombra, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, Echo is a little bit difficult to play in these comps, but Justice, they're going to have to take some kind of initiative. You know, Florida Mayhem are going to be happy just to sit back, mark flankers, because Checkmate's going to outpoke this Winston, you know, 9 times out of 10 here on the Echo.
Yes, sir. Taking a fair bit of damage, though. It was hacked previously, so suffering a little bit, I'd say. That mini-pack will be kind of nice to hack if you're Flora. Help Alpha E, at least on the flank. Mirror's taking a lot of damage, the same as Checkmate. Looks like Terror was checking him that entire time. And Mirror was able to finish up that kill. Chorong pretty low too, as the point has been unlocked, but no one capping just yet. You'd imagine without the damage, I mean, Florida Mayhem can kind of juggle here, but they are on the back foot. Another leap in for Mirror, but it will be the Justice. Oh, they're so close from capping. Nice little recall, but it looks like they haven't been able to hold off for long enough for Checkmate to come back. Manual hack onto someone, but he gets the bubble out just in time.
Yeah, and everyone's back now for Florida. They have a very good chance in this with Justice on the back foot, which is not where you want to find yourself on this summer comp. RuPaul does get naded, but don't see any follow-up there, except all the...
Oh, pulse bomb just misses. Merit ends up going down, potentially trying to pulse bomb the Justice backline. With someone of Merit dead, that should be the cap. There we go. Justice in control first.
Yeah, that nade ended up being pretty significant, forcing RuPaul away, and then the backline just doing a little bit of a better job, watching Justice able to shut down Merit. And so far, this Echo pick is not really working out at all. Checkmate not able to connect on that Winston in the backline, the players he wants to be targeting, because Flora and Alpha E, they're just always on his case. They're making him fight DPS. That's not what you want on Echo. You want to be just, you know, poking down those vulnerable backline that can't shoot back at you.
Wow, how did he get discovered there? That was a
good
maybe
spy
just a little spy check, yeah. Triple anti. Should be good, though. Yeah, they can just wait that one out, not a problem. Yeah, I mean, you're saying about Checkmate struggling. I mean, he's only got 70% towards ult. Not the best, especially when you got an EMP right in front of your face.
Broken, though.
Chorong already EMP'd, but he's got the nano and the rally, and Flora's dead. The Florida Mayhem up 2 now as Merrick just cleaning up. Beautiful defensive play there from Merrick, just helping his backline. That TP was broken, Jake, but Flora, he was just desperately trying to kill Chorong, but RuPaul was there with the nano.
That's just a critical fight for the Florida Mayhem to win, because EMP did come out from Flora. That's a crucial ult that you would really want on the retake. Yes, you've got Rally, you've got Primal, Pulse Bomb, but kind of Pulse Bomb and Primal, you know, you can open up the fights with those, but your backline could just as easily be traded. Checkmate's going to have that copy. It's going to be much harder to pressure him out in this fight.
Yeah, double Winston, I would imagine, or maybe a copy of a Tracer would be rather cheeky. Getting a couple of quick pulse bombs won't be too difficult, not against the Winston anyway.
I want to see an Ana copy. Copy that Ana, nade the backline. You know, that can be a really, really strong play. Maybe nano your Winston.
Pulse bomb in the hand of Alpi. We'll see if he can connect it this time around. He is running rings around the Mayhem right now, but they're still managing to dodge, but everybody's so low. The incoming damage there from Alpi and Flora just helping Mirror secure the kills. Clean fight from the Justice, Jake. Only a Primal Rage and a Pulse Bomb used.
Yeah, really well played by Justice, but I can't help but wonder, Florida Mayhem, like, where was their dive? I mean, sure, your backline might go down, but you should always have priority to dive the enemy backline when they're walking in. I mean, you're in control of the point. You get to kind of dictate the pace of the fight. So Checkmate and someone, I think, maybe missing an opportunity there that could come back and hurt them as the round goes on. Flora already 60% to that next EMP.
Yeah, dupe available, though, for Checkmate. See if he does copper the Ana. Would be kind of nice. Double anti-nades. Or yeah, that's a little rough. Sticky Bomb's going wide. Nice little dive, but looks like Checkmate and someone weren't really on the same page. There's the Ana copy. Is he going to get a nano? Shooting shield, unlucky. Walking the shield. Oh, there you go. Anti-nade on to FD God. Hits the rally too. So he goes down instantly. No healing, no over health or even over armor there to save him. Beautiful stuff from Checkmate, and that will be a cap for the Mayhem. Very scrappy backwards and forwards, but you expect that at this point in the knockouts?
Yeah, although the round now is looking really rough for Justice. Not much to work with. Nano Boost, I think, a much harder ultimate to open up with on retake than the Primal. You still have only that one jump to work with. Chorong, if he boops that mirror, it's going to be really difficult to connect. You're going to be really relying on Alfie's Pulse Bomb. At the same time, I mean, there's going to be so much pressure coming in from the ults of the Florida Mayhem. They have every opportunity to dive. I don't want to see them mess this up again. Like, you cannot let Taro and FD God walk in. You have to punish them. I mean, you have point, you have dive. There it comes.
Had a Pulse Bomb go out. It was Merit. And even a manual hack onto him too. Is the recall all good? Someone on your screen. Still got that Primal Rage. The backline for the Justice. More than safe now with that sleep onto someone. Still has Primal Rage, and here's the Nano Boost with Checkmate. The two-person dive. Can they actually finish anybody off? No, FD God gets Nano. Now he's swinging. Checkmate's Nano ended up running out, and the backline dive from the Justice just too good for the Mayhem. I mean, this is just Justice standing up, standing tall against Florida right now. They find the cap as Florida got 99.
Yeah, Merritt getting hacked there, not finding any value on his Pulse Bomb, and then Justice doing a great job letting the dive come in, full countering it, pressuring Merritt out really early into that, and then Alfie and Florida, they get the opportunity to go on the enemy backline. They do use EMP Pulse Bomb Nano, so Florida, they've been sitting on this rally. I don't think they've used Rally and Primal the whole round, but now it's time, like this is the fight. You've got to get value off someone Primal.
Someone's looking for a way to get in the fight. There's the boob. He can still put the pressure on though. FD God is still fairly far up, but look at the damage someone's taking right now. They know he's got Primal, they have to. Sleep does end up missing. However, there's still a lot of healing for FD God and Terru. FD God does get anti, just someone's jumping away, so again, no follow-up. I say that, I do tell a massive lie, as Checkmate was there in the backline too.
Me when I spread misinformation.
Fighting in the war for misinformation on the side.
Terru's in between two Winstons. That's a bad place to be. Getting cooked up.
He's asleep. It's okay. He's back though as Florida Mayhem do cap. And there you go. First round as Alfie
says. calling out his own
C9.
True. I don't know if we call that a C9. That is just a well-executed round from Florida. But honestly, there were some cracks there. Like the counter dives from Justice were on point. Merritt, he was not really finding value on the dives because Alfie and Flora were just constantly attacking him on Tracer. He's getting hacked, he's getting pressured out. And sure, Checkmate and someone can kind of fly over the top. Nothing can really stop them. But Merritt, he's got to navigate his way through a Somber Tracer, which is really scary in that comp, right? When the enemy Tracer has a Somber to help her, every time you start taking that 1v1, you have to question in the back of your mind, am I going to get hacked? Is there a pills that's hacked that I don't know about? The other Tracer could just grab that from me and turn the tempo. So it's a tough fight for Merritt. Florida do take that round, though. I think you're feeling really good about that. And running a really great comp so far. That Ashe against Queen, this is going to be, I think, pretty tough for the Justice. Merritt going to be pretty much unchecked on this high ground. I don't see anybody getting to him pretty much ever. So Justice, you got to just let Merritt be free, and that feels really rough, I think.
I mean, you could hide around the sight lines, but it's just so open. Look at Chorong too, his own little personal bodyguard up on that high ground.
Yeah, the position here is really hard. I mean, I think Justice, they do just have to play to cap the point and hope that Merritt just can't quite get enough damage. That's going to be their game plan.
I really like RuPaul's positioning too. He's on the other side of this expanse here. FD God dead. On the Lucio this time, no Brig to be found. Oh, Chorong. How did you end up there? I'm not sure, but Checkmate's still doing what Alfie cannot. I say that as Alfie does take the backline, just a complete trade right now. Merritt might have been free a second ago, but the pull from the knife or mirror does take him down from that high ground, and the Justice are going to cap once again first.
God, Alfie is just a beast in that fight.
He
like
really
even
is.
Though losing a teammate first early, I think Chorong maybe slipping up to be so far in so early. I think once that Lucio pick came in, Florida had the opportunity to slow things down, but they didn't take it. They tried to just press the advantage right away. Ends up being a mistake because Alfie, he's so sharp on that cleanup.
Yeah, look at this positioning. RuPaul, Chorong, and Merritt all just kind of lined up in the back line. And ult.
What?
You cannot let that happen.
Surely.
Wow. Okay, a manual hack and then just a couple of bullets.
So
Right, Strong didn't have packs or
God
whatever.
tracking from
Yeah.
Flora. Like, there's no other way you get that kill.
All right, well. Oh, there's another knife. Mirror's been pretty good at hitting those. I need a pack, please. Please.
Heal me.
All
Heals.
good.
Heals.
Please, please. All good. They're going to reset, Jake.
It's starting to look rough, though. I mean, winning the mid fight, I think, was really what Florida Mayhem's comp relied on, you know, having that Ashe on the high ground once you hold point. But retaking point is a different story. It's much easier for Justice if they only have to stall. They're not really forced into any kind of action. And if you do push in, EMP coming down.
Oh, what an EMP. Does hit RuPaul. Square in the chest, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Chorong's there. What a stick!
Woo!
Oh, checkmate. Showing Alpha E who is boss. Florida Mayhem with double support coming up, but the Justice still want to prolong this fight. I mean, Mirror can survive here. Might be able to get a rampage off. No, not even in the rush there could Mirror survive the oncoming damage from Bob, but just Mirror on the high ground. Now he's getting some free space, Jake. Now he's getting the damage in.
Yeah, and that rush commitment, the Kitsune rush, not really getting anything. I mean, sure, it forces Merit's Bob, but I think that's a trade you're more than happy to take. I feel like the Kitsune rush is such a high-value ultimate on this control map type where you just kind of stand on the point and flip it with that ult. Alfie getting pressured out as well. It's going to be all on this rampage from Mirror, and as well Alfie's pulse bomb. I mean, that is like, it's like better than a normal pulse bomb, I swear.
Yeah, it is. It's upgraded. It's Pulse Bomb Plus. All right, here it is. Oh, on the wall. Not
Nice
quite.
punch,
You're going to downgrade that one, unfortunately. He does hit the recall straight to Chorong, though, but Flora's already dead. Mirror's got the ultimate, but I think Justice maybe wanting to take this one slow, especially without Flora there. It's harder for Alpha E as well to get value. He's just poking away in the back line. He's actually going to switch over to Sojourn now instead.
Sojourn. This is going to be rough. Very difficult to keep this hero alive in the comp. I mean, Terror's going to have his work cut out for him. You got to protect your Lucio. You got to give your Queen about a heal, and you're going to keep a Sojourn up. That's kind of a tall order here. I'm not a big fan of this pick, honestly.
Well, we'll see what it can do.
He's got the beat, though. This fight shouldn't be too hard.
And the rampage.
Oh, Flora.
Got to hit Chorong and RuPaul. Look at how much damage Mirror is taking right now. Speaking about strained resources, the health bars of Justice not looking pretty. They're eventually going to heal themselves up after someone uses that Primal Rage. He's got an extra leap in him. He's going to be fine. Mirror's looking for this ultimate, man. Look at him. He's trying to line up for this. There comes the rally. Good time to use the ult. No! What a stun from Chorong! He may have paid for it with his life, but he made sure RuPaul was safe. But unfortunately, Teru was there, and Alpha E2 to clean up the rest. What a stun. Didn't quite connect on the back line, but it didn't really matter. There's the flip. 68% in building. Justice in a good spot.
Yeah, Justice turning to peel that Primal ended up being a great decision. Cost them a little bit of time, but they do win the team fights, what they needed here. And now they've got that Kitsune Rush, which should alleviate a little bit of the burden as far as the healing in the comp, right? You can heal so fast with the Kitsune. You can also get like 2 Lucio heal lamps off. It could be really effective in this team fight. Flora as well. If he gets this overclock online, he could turn into a really scary creature. Not too much survivability on the cards for Florida Mayhem.
Oh, I hear the Winston diving above. There he is. Hello, someone. Him and Checkmate trying to open up this fight with a kill. Teru's still flinging those kunais as overtime is here. Mayhem are going to have to deal with this rush that's on the point now. I mean, here's Flora. He's got that overclock. He receives a Suzu, but he's in no man's land on the point. Gets anti-2. The focus is going to be decent from the Mayhem. They do end up taking him down after a brief stint of dealing with the FD God and Alpha E dive. And that'll be the Florida Mayhem clearing that fight up. They're going to flip the points, and then we're looking at a 99-99.
That is such a crucial nade from RuPaul. I think without that nade, I don't think they find that kill. I think Flora pops his overclock. Anything could have happened there. FD God's gonna do it. He's not making it, man. There's
44
no way.
HP. Oh,
yeah.
What a snipe from someone. 99%. Oh, no touches. And the Florida Mayhem, they're going to take map number 1.
Well played by Florida Mayhem, running some I think very straightforward comps. I mean, I think there's confidence in the comps that Florida Mayhem are picking. It's like, all right, we're gonna just take it to you on the meta. We're gonna beat you on what everybody else is playing, and it's up to now. Justice, balls in your court. You want to start cheesing? You want to start mixing it up? I think Florida's more than happy to go to the mat and kind of scrap counter swapping fest. Like, I don't think they have any issues with that, but they just won on some dominant metas. It was really Justice playing the off meta stuff with that Queen. Didn't work out for them that round.
Remember, it's loser's choice too, so Justice do get their map pick. Curious where we end up going. I mean, that nade too. RuPaul and Checkmate, both on Ana. Doing so much for the team. I mean, I just want to keep seeing RuPaul on Ana. The guy's just a monster. He won some of their games yesterday because of the anti-nade. It was Ridiculous stuff. I mean, their backline, it looked a little bit fallible here, Jake, but still so good at keeping each other alive. And what a pulse.
And
that's an ego pulse right there.
I mean, he's been such a superstar, and to get pulsed down like that.
I know, yeah.
That's the ultimate outplay on Tracer, right? It's like you rarely even go for those. But Checkmate is a player, I feel like I've seen that a number of times from him. He's not scared to throw the pulse to those Tracers.
Oh, hell no. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Washington Justice map choice after the break. We'll be right back.
fly and I'm flashy. It's the reason why the people always ask me, where you get that, where you cop those. I've been fresh to death since a snot nose kid on the block with the illest sneakers. The girls all flock like they missile seekers. The party don't stop, got different features, exclusives, different colors, you can't get them either. I came here to stunt, that's what I go for. I don't buy a pair, I buy the whole store. A price tag's just a number to me, so I never miss a shot that I want and I see. Swish.
Mayhem with a convincing 2-0 there on the first map. We are going to Hollywood, second one, and that will be Justice's pick, and Mayhem have chosen to defend. The winning side there chooses whether they want to attack or defend, so Mayhem have opted for defense. Maybe trying to make this one a fast one. We'll see.
Yeah, you want to get a full hold. I wouldn't be surprised to see Merit on a core hit scan here, maybe more of that Ash. Although, honestly, the Ashe, as much as I feel like it is strong against Winston with that Coach Gun boop, it feels like it hasn't been as effective as the Hanzo. Maybe just that threat of the one-shot kill, Sonic Arrow giving you that chance to catch out a Sombra, and ends up being a little bit more scary to play against than just booping the Winston. You can trust your Brig for that anyway. So I'm curious to see what comp Florida end up running. We've seen them even run like very odd stuff here before, like earlier in the season they were playing a BAP Kiriko with Ramatra, Hitscan, you know, just they run their own comps here. They have their own looks. I'd expect to see more of a classic Winston dive. I mean, after you won that first map, it was 9900s, but those were dominant in the end. Like, you know, it didn't, even those final fights, it wasn't like the final fight was this knockdown drag out.
Yeah, it was kind of just a sweep over them.
So I think you're feeling pretty happy if you're Florida, just to like, let's keep going. Like, we're better than you at this comp. What do you have to go to something else? And for Justice, I don't know that there really is another option. Maybe they could run the Ramatra Rush. We've seen them run that on this map before. Just run it down, catch the enemy Brig, catch the enemy Ana, and punish them. But it's a tough task. You got to run the gauntlet. Someone, Merit, Checkmate, they're going to be poking you down at all times, trying to, you know, slide in a kill on one of your supports as they try to slip past.
Yeah, no Ashe or Hanzo on the defense. It's just Checkmate on Tracer, and then Merit on Sombra.
It's a conservative choice.
It is, definitely. I would love to see a little bit of Orisa here from Mira, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Please do not. This is like a, there's no way, right?
It is a troll.
Wait. Still, okay.
It is a troll.
Oh, Queen. All right.
Sojin
I don't believe in
into
this. This is rough for me. On Hollywood, maybe first point. All right, he might just play it on first and swap off. I could see that from Mira, but this is scary. There's a lot of players to keep alive here.
Maybe not. Okay, they've seen what Florida Mayhem are running. Looks like they're going to go back to spawn.
Maybe this is expecting Merit on the hit scan. That could make more sense.
Okay.
Against the Sombra. Oh, they are going to commit. It's just a question of matching Sombra with it.
Yes, they took the Sojourn out there and just slotted a Sombra in. Okay. Tough for the Queen to really get a lot of value, especially if someone can just kind of juggle the payload and juggle the point here.
Yeah, for Mir, you've got to connect to the back line. It's RuPaul and Chorong. You've got to be catching them. Oh,
good knife. Another good knife, in fact. Axe swing does go wide, but this is what you want to see. Jay just running at the back line. Chorong does go pretty low, being kept alive somehow by RuPaul. How has he been alive for so long? Anti-nade from RuPaul does help secure the kill onto Mira. And with FD God dead, that should be the dive over and done with. Although with Teru up, still, the backline for the Florida Mayhem have been eliminated. It's now just about getting back to the point ASAP. Chorong will reach the rest of the Florida Mayhem in just a moment, but looks like Alfie's trying to test them.
Yeah, great team play from Florida Mayhem, able to keep Chorong alive just line. Alfie's almost going down there, but we'll see. One more chance before the ults come online. Can you pick off these backlines?
They're going for a rapid. Chorong did not expect that. A pulse bomb available to Alfie already. They're in the cafe, and they're not ordering sandwiches. What can they do with it? Nice hack onto that mini health pack as well. That could be quite influential later on in the fight, but it looks like a good wraparound from Mayhem. Gone to the high ground now. Pulse bomb goes out from Alfie. Actually gets naded, but a better pulse bomb from Checkmate. Nano onto someone too. Washington Justice unable to really make anything stick. It's been tough. I mean, 2 minutes in the time bank already gone now, Jake.
And I think Mirror, he's playing the comp the way it has to be played. I think Queen, you can't really sit there and fight Winston in front of Ana. You have to go to the backline and cut down those healers. And yet someone is just so unchecked during that. They're just constantly being pressured from all sides. And Checkmate is just always coming up with the kill first. It's too difficult to find that Ana Brig kill.
EMP is available from both sides. EMP comes out, hits Teru and Alpha Yi. They're laying down that rush, but FD God's already dead. Another EMP's coming in, maybe? No, Checkmate just cleans the entirety of the Justice there. And a nice small stagger as he's just bagging him on the point.
They honestly could have staggered him really bad there since he already has EMP, so you're not scared to let him farm, but that's a rare play. You won't see that every day. You know, Mirror, yeah, sure, he's got that ult. It's going to be all in this EMP, though. I think Chorong really wants to dodge the EMP, so he's available to pop the rally, bash people. You know, one bash, I feel like you could catch Justice's whole team comp. They're going to be five stacked.
Another
so
5-man
hard.
bash.
And a stun like that, I mean, it just gives you time to get healed, and the Winston's cleaving the whole time. It could go really wrong here for the Justice. The EMP is not perfect.
Ooh, early dive here for Mayhem. EMP comes out. That's a Rampage did hit too, but Checkmate just popped the Primal, and then there's a recall for Tracer. So with someone's Primal and Chorong too, I mean, the AoE damage is just immense. That rally ended up getting popped after that EMP came out, so everybody had that overhealth. And there's one fight remaining now for the Justice, Jake.
All right, this is a fight Justice sort of should win. There's no answer to beat. Mira's going to go over to the Winston. I think this is going to be a straightforward beat dive rush in. But if the Mayhem can kite out, I think if they expect this kind of, you know, over-aggression potentially from FD God, FD God has to beat early. It's hard to even stay alive on this Lucio. So Florida, I think if they're ready to hard kite and just escape the beat, this could be really good for them.
Looks like Mero was trying to poke to get towards that EMP. Like you said, kiting out, waiting for the EMP. FD God, it's all on him to try and make good of this fight. He's already taken a fair bit of damage, and the pulse in the hands of Checkmate. Of course it lands! FD God, Teru's dead. FD God, Ajaxing on the point. Oh, it's over. And Mira knows it too. AFKing on that point. What a way to defend the Florida Mayhem with the full hold against the Justice.
Wrap it up. Let's go home, guys. Florida, let's see if I'm ready to call this series. I'm ready to walk away from this. Like, that was an absolute beatdown. The AJ to finish it off. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, for FD God, he is caught between a rock and a hard place there, right? You can just beat super early right through the choke, but are you really going to connect to the backline like that? Chorong, RuPaul, they're playing safe. They're going to kite your beat out, and you're just going to lose like that. So you've got to cross a little bit of space, be a little bit greedy. But with the pulse on his Ana, I mean, it just goes from bad to worse. So Florida Mayhem with aggression, every single time Justice try to make their play, Florida's striking first. Florida's punishing your rotations. They look like the superior team by a big margin here. Maybe we made a mistake on the desk, even thinking Justice could take a map. This is not close.
Scariest team in the lower bracket, that's for sure. No one expected them to go down to the Glads, and it looks like it's going to be a rematch for a ticket to the mid-season madness. Let's have a look at this then. This was, yeah, just Checkmate's triple kill cleaning up. I mean, this was at a point as well, Jake, where Flora was just in the middle of nowhere, and this fight was happening. The Justice wanted this EMP to kind of follow up in everybody in the cafe. They could have hit a big EMP there. It would have been probably a fight win, but yeah, just completely off sync.
Yeah, Flora's like still resetting his TP at that moment. It just, I mean, it feels really bad. RuPaul hits a huge nade, and although the cleanse is almost instant, Checkmate still finds the kill on FD God before it comes down, and just that's the margin you're playing with against the Florida Mayhem. They are so quick to punish you.
Yes.
And Checkmate on the Genji, I don't mind this with but I think it is maybe unnecessarily risky. You know, you could just say like, we're gonna get an Nanoblade, we're gonna win, but you do have the risk of like getting slept. Could go wrong.
Could go wrong. Way more defensive now for FD God. He's gone there. Brig, no Lucio, no real shock there. He just want to hold Cafe. Although Teru's not hanging out there. He's on boxes right now. Someone taking a nice spot on the high. Oh, no, he actually surfed all the way down somehow. Whoops a daisy. Wow, Miro taking a lot from those Storm arrows. It's hard to dive that Hanzo when he's got that ability up. There's the redive. Slowly but surely, just Florida Mayhem trying to get position, but Merit's kind of using his dash the wrong way there. He went behind the pillar, couldn't see his healers.
Yeah, overstaying is welcome. His healers dropped to low ground. I mean, maybe it's the healer's fault. I think they probably should stay high ground with Merit. I mean, he's up there threatening kills. You just have to buy more time for the Hanzo.
Yeah, and you have the break too, so I don't think Monkey's too much of a threat to you, but we'll see if they want to go to the high ground again. Looks like they're going to. Taking the stairs. All good.
Yeah, honestly, this Hanzo is a bit of an odd choice here. Merit can pop off and just end the game at any time, but if he doesn't find that, I mean, the dives are going to be much stronger from Justice.
Oh, what a hit from Alfie! This guy, he don't miss. Him and Checkmate, honestly, just have a 1v1 to decide the match, I think. Nice little tasering there from Mira. Takes down RuPaul. I mean, the supports are dead. You're pretty much done. Half-time bank's already gone, Jake. I don't want to say it, but a draw is possible on this map.
Starting to get worried. This is going really poorly. I think this Hanzo pick is just not working. It's a very odd choice when you only have to cap A, where I would think you would probably want to just take a mirror and just like go for ult trades. Eventually you'll get an advantage. Justice have played this textbook, and so far they're on the path to a draw here.
Decent stick, but the only thing it served there was forcing Mirror to use that Primal Rage. Pretty nice ultimate to get out, can't really stall with it, and you know the Winston's going to be more vulnerable when he dives in. Nano boost for RuPaul though. Can he land another big nade? EMP is good for one, and in fact, does take down RuPaul. And now Chorong's all in his lonesome insecurity. Checkmate makes it even, at least somewhat, killing Mirror, but with both supports dead, Mayhem are going to have to reset again. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. Drawable right now.
Oh no, and a late death from Merit. The Hanzo is really not working here. I mean, we still have a chance. To be fair, this fight looks pretty good for the Florida Mayhem. And Merit over the Sombra.
Now he's into Sombra.
I'm glad. I actually think this is still the right decision. Just take the mirror. Eventually, you probably will still get an EMP off as the fight goes on.
All right, he should know where his Translocator is, but I'm not sure if that'll matter to Flora at all, considering how fast the fight is going to take place. All right, still with that nano boost. Oh, there's the nano onto the brig after they get pulsed. Rally comes out too. They're just throwing everything in. They only need 33%. And whether it was the Sombra or whether it was just a clutch nano from RuPaul, it doesn't matter. Because the Florida Mayhem, they're in match point scenario now. One more map and they'll be facing the Gladiators once again in the knockouts.
Yeah, I mean, the defense was just flawless from the Florida Mayhem. Even though a lot of slip-ups on the attack, Justice kept fighting. They made that game interesting. And, I mean, that was a heroic pulse bomb from Alfie. Absolutely ridiculous 180 blink stick. But nonetheless, Florida up 2-0. It is a full hold as much as Justice kind of made it close there.
Oof. Catching Queen in the knee there.
I mean, she just has to run in straight lines. It's sort of the nature of the hero. You've got to just run it down and hit the enemy backline.
Oh my god.
Oh,
he was
perfect.
Pixels away from getting EMP'd there.
Yeah.
And then it was just John kind of running it down. Yeah, what a defense. When was the last time we saw a full hold like that? Like,
yeah, no ticks. It's a big deal.
It feels like an age since we've seen that.
Yeah, jeez. I mean, this is Justice feeling the limit right now. Like, I don't like this Queen comp. You know, I think it's very forced. Even if you win A, you're going to be swapping. Is it really that reliable on A? Maybe it's like FD God. He's like a Lucio player. You know, you want to put him on the Lucio. But I think some of Justice's weaknesses are showing right here. They have some specialist players, Mirror on the Queen, FD God and the Lucio, who are good at what they do. But that's on the meta.
Yeah, it's not meta. Well, maybe they can play more to their strengths now as we go on to Shambali Monastery. Remember, it is Washington Justice's map choice. I want to see if Florida defend first again. See if they can make it a back-to-back. No points on the board. We'll have to wait and see after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a minute. Are the Washington Justice gonna get a point? That was a full hold from the Mayhem. Not even a single tick was allotted their way in Hollywood, and they didn't get a point on control either. We're going to Shambali Monastery, and we just got word that Florida are defending. So there could be a possibility. Yeah, there could be a possibility that Justice don't cap a point in the series.
It's starting to look rough. I mean, Florida, they showed a bit of weakness, I think, on that offense. Hollywood not cleaning it up nearly as dominantly as you would expect, given how the series has gone, how Hollywood went in particular. But Justice have to be reeling from that. Sure, they're taking it to a map where they can play a rush comp, force a big change in the comps that we're seeing here. Could be enough of a shakeup to take Florida, off their roll and maybe get a map out. But you're still going to a push and a Koth after this that Florida can always be picking dive-centric maps that they've been just dominating you on that comp, right? Justice has been looking for the weird cheeses. They haven't worked. So Florida going to take control of this series, and it's going to be up to Justice, I think, beyond a comp swap. They have to level up their gameplay. They have to take the aggression up and find value out of it. I mean, they're trying to run it down, but Florida's too clean. They're too sharp. They're punishing your flankers. They're punishing your backline. I'm not seeing a way back into the series for Justice. It starts here, though, right? Let's get one on the board. That's what you got to be saying as Justice.
Yeah. Still got to get ahead in the game.
Let's get 1 point on the board.
Keep it. Yeah, exactly. Let's get a checkpoint on the board. Thoughts on that? I mean,
yeah, good call. Good call.
Yeah.
I like that strat.
Yeah, it's good. Mayhem, no more Winston. It's just going to be the forward hold with the Ram. That's what we've seen popularized. I think this is going to be the going forward strat, I think, for this map. It's like Havana, where you always just hold that forward point on the payload near the spawn doors. You might as well get a couple of free fights before that first point.
Yeah, and we'll see if it's enough here. It's going to be all in these Hanzos. Merit, let's see if he does a little bit better job in this comp. A little bit more of a stable comp for Hanzo. More flexibility, just take your shots. And Merit taking big poke already.
Big damage. Dessert. But I mean, the longer Mayhem can stall this out, they don't necessarily need kills, although it would be nice. Just time off of the bank is what they need right now. Oh, what a shot to Chorong. Took a little bit of damage, then a Storm Arrow to the head. Nice Sonic Arrow, and there's the kills. Okay, all good, but you take that. Oh, what? 30, 35 seconds, 40 seconds off the board, so all good.
Flora's rather, Hanzo has been a savior for this team on this comp. I think this is his best hero. It looks like that so far in the season. The Hanzo on this comp is where he really shines. He's a fine Sombra, when they're playing the dive comp, but this is where we need to see Flora take over for his buddy Alfie. Alfie's just on the May, more of a utility DPS. He does his job, he does it well, but he's not going to be able to pop off and carry you. Maybe with a crazy wall from the flank, but hard for me to imagine this working that well, honestly. Okay,
they didn't know Alfie was there that whole time. Wall comes up, traps checkmate behind it, pops the Ice Cube to keep himself safe. And now just the Rams crossing their arms as they're in Nemesis form as Florida Mayhem back their way up to this corner.
Yeah, Drone does get forced out from RuPaul, so you're going to be a little bit worried. Window as well. If Justice can survive this and just slip away, they're going to be feeling really good.
He's good, 40 HP. And there's the sound barrier from FD God. They're really just piling on that pressure, walking through that window. RuPaul manages to escape, but his buddy, Chorong, does not quite make it up onto that high ground. Nice first push, Justice! Let's go! They got 1 point on the board this series. That's what it takes, Jake, just at 1 point.
Yeah, great job by them in this comp. Bending but not breaking. Forcing utility, forcing skills, countering really dominantly with the beat. And by the way, FD God had that beat 35% before Chorong. I mean, that's a huge lead. Getting better heliums, better spam throughout the map so far. Although Florida, there's a chance here for them to slow things down. Without the beat, it's going to be much harder for Justice to continue to advance.
FD got just leapt to the back line, which was so low. Didn't matter, he had
just opening kills Flora.
Yeah, I guess so. Blizzard on Mirror, just Mirror, in fact. I mean, Checkmate's going to get lapped. Same with RuPaul. Beautiful 180 wall there to help himself and his Batiste. That very aggressive Blizzard ends up working out for them, at least for the time being, as Checkmate on the flank pops the Ice Cube. And, well, Justice, they're in between a rock and a hard place, or a rock and Checkmate's endothermic blast.
Checkmate played so well this fight, starting off with that mail. It looked like a pretty desperate fight, but he sees the way to clutch and he goes for it. This is big value for Florida, because now Justice, they're gonna have to walk up under all this pressuring fire from Merit, from Checkmate. If you get poked down here, it feels so terrible. So I think Justice, you gotta watch your head at this moment. Another potential rush coming in. Sure, Mirror has the Annihilation, but a beat rush could still pick off backliners.
Could indeed. This second point is painful to ascend. Oh my god. I mean, Checkmate's just kind of lining up for a wall right now. Sonic Arrow is revealing a nice little bit of information. They know Justice aren't going to go for a big flank or anything, or at least not for the time being. Although, speaking of which, Alfie's very far up, actually forces Checkmate into his ice block. He still has a wall available to him, and I mean, this is surely a kill onto Alpha Yi, of anything. Oh, Checkmate's trapped out. Oh, not good. And then Lamp comes in from the Justice just in time. Teru manages to save and picks himself up a nice little triple kill on the back of that too. Saves Alpha Yi, who was on just what looked to be a disastrous flank.
Well, it's a great play. I think, honestly, it's a mistake from Florida to over-focus that Mei. I mean, he's got big utility to keep himself alive, and while everyone's looking at the Mei, the rest of the team just runs it down mid because Checkmate, he's busy. He's paying attention to arguably what he shouldn't be. He's got to be looking for that wall in the main group, and Justice, knowing that the focus is elsewhere, they capitalize. This comp change is looking really good for them.
There's the beat rush again. Blizzard in defense as Mira's on the wrong side of it. Annihilation Pop 2 went straight to the backline to try and clear some Florida Mayhem members up, but weren't able to do so. Later, Blizzard, someone's trapped, and the Washington Justice kind of steamrolling through this second point. 3 minutes and 40 seconds in the time bank now, pushing on to third point.
Yeah, Mirror, he does force a heavy response onto him in terms of all the cooldowns that come out, and then the point flip comes in. Florida fighting for nothing here. The card's already moving, 330 pushing last. You're feeling really good about this if you're the Justice. This is a great attack so far. Might be enough to turn the momentum in the series.
Comeback starts now. Not really much of a Z9. Your Ram died. Come on now.
Yeah, honestly though, with Florida, I mean, Florida's players lived a long time. They probably should have touched that card a little bit earlier. I would call that a little bit of a Z9. You might not have won it, but you could have fought it.
A mini one? I like it. All right, Dragon Star is going to be tough to use here, or maybe just to split some people up in a team fight. So Alfie randomly tags RuPaul with a headshot with the help of
Big Dragon, though.
Dragon Strike's pretty decent. A wall up to try and save Alpha Yi and Mira, but Alpha Yi still goes down. What a beautiful Dragons.
Yeah, great play from Merit, catching the enemy, just trying to take a moment of respite in the corner, and the Dragons clear it out. That's a great use of the ultimate, slowing things down. Although Justice, they're not too worried about losing their Mei. They're still poking, they're still prodding, not losing too much value from that pick. Florida, they don't want to go too aggressive here. They're kind of waiting on RuPaul to get that nano.
The Dragon Strike, how effective it's going to be, not so much. As soon as they hear that voice line come out, it's a speed boost and an annihilation. Good hold right now from Florida Mayhem. Someone is just in the corner taking negative damage. Yeah, that is a crazy ability.
That is so nice, that play. You know, dive to the back line, pick off the very far backliner in the Batiste, and then sit there and block. Like, what's up, guys?
And they don't have a sleep to kind of count this
no
count the
stuns
block
at all.
or anything like that.
You can't really do anything about that Ramatra block when he's in the corner. You know, like, it's a strong play. Great awareness from someone finding the tempo. And now it's going to be up to Alfie finding some kind of value of this Blizzard. Maybe Teru's window can open things up, but it's big nade. Big nade. Forcing instantly to Lamp. Teru's still very low.
There's a wall to trap someone. He can't hold his arms up anymore. Another beautiful wall by Alpha Yi. Sound barrier from FT God. Hits 4, but Teru's already dead. Florida Mayhem are going to respond with a beat of their own as Checkmate ends up going down. It's a bit of a scrappy fight on the point, but the spawn positions for the Mayhem are so close that it's going to be tough for the Washington Justice to really capitalize on this. They might get a couple of extra meters here though, Jake, with Annihilation on the board, but Flora finding a late pick.
And then Batiste is almost back, so Mirror with this Annihilation, it's going to be tough to deal with him. Sure, you've got the nano onto someone, but he's got to find kills. He's got to somehow connect to the backline. But look at Teru's position. He's so safe right now.
The Dragon Strike, there's the Annihilation, and it just splits everybody up. That speed boost Annihilation is going to last for almost an infinite amount of time on the point now. There's the nano, Jake, and it applied to someone, but Checkmate was isolated. Good wall from Alpha Yi, helps secure the kill, and now Mira could just reset, go into another Nemesis form and run at the backline. RuPaul is in trouble, a good boot from Chorong, opens it up, an Annihilation from someone is good. Teru, FT God dead. They're holding fast. 30 seconds to go now for the Justice to cap this third point.
That was beautifully played by the Florida Mayhem, saving the nano so late into the Annihilation. Mirror thinks he can get a little bit more, but then the nano keeps someone up for so long. And Chorong switching over to the Batiste. I love this play. This is great because Alfie coming up on the Blizzard, that's what they're worried about. Now you've got that drone, that extra survivability. You wouldn't be able to charge a beat on the Lucio, but you're on last. You're never pushing in. You're just going to have that extra opportunity to potentially save somebody from that Blizzard.
Yeah, that Blizzard's coming up in a couple of percent. Flora trying to click ahead. Oh, but he can't quite get it. Hits a body shot onto Merit, but that's just about it. Overtime's here. Sonic Arrow revealing a couple of people who can maybe shoot, but now he's even getting checked by Checkmate. still shooting, he's still doing damage, forcing the Mayhem players to kind of back up a little bit, but Teru puts the window on the high ground and just isolates Merit and kills him. The Blizzard does separate someone from the payload, and he's going so low. The Batiste is good for the lamp for Jake, but it's not really going to be enough. With someone and Checkmate already dead, this is going to be a completion in OT. Mayhem, good job at whittling down that time bank. They had 3 minutes and 40 seconds going into third, but still a completion on Shambali Monastery is rare at this point.
Yeah, you're happy with this as a Washington Justice. You're certainly happy getting it over the edge there. It seemed like maybe they would stall out on last, but they had that big ultimate advantage going into the final fight. So even though I like the heads up BAP swap from Chorong, better hero when you're just not going to get the ultimate at all in the round, but doesn't end up being quite enough. Still, just picks coming in, the Dragon, forcing everyone out of cover. Then you've got the window from Teru, and then, I mean, it's so hard on Florida Mayhem trying to stay alive against that. I'm thinking back, though, to a lot of outplays in this round. Like Alfie, when they were having trouble on second, he pulled so much aggro, taking that flank position on May, really opened things up for his team. Justice, they look really strong in this comp. They know how to play it, not just when it's in a comfortable scenario, but also when it's uncomfortable, when it's difficult. They know how to mix things up and break open these defensive holds. We'll see if Florida Mayhem can match that, because Shambali, we talked about it, it's a difficult map to attack.
Difficult map to attack, difficult map to finish. I mean, this is the play here, right?
Like, you've got two players fully looking at you, and then you trap the May in the room.
Oh, the boot.
Oh, was it an AJ? Tell me it's not an AJ.
Oh. The Ajax from the window. Oh my. That was a nice boot from FD God. You expect that from a Lucio player? Just knowing when then Lucio's going to go for that beat, and little Ajax there for Chorong.
Both teams, one AJ on the board. Who's gonna lead the AJ counter in this series? Could be anybody. Chorong wants revenge for that one, that's for sure.
All right, another forward hold here.
Stop the payload.
Yes, standard free fight.
Superior one. Yeah. It's all on the Hunters.
But on the defense, if you start winning fights here, it's so demoralizing for the attackers.
Hey, if I'm Mayhem right now, it's like, I got maps to give. I got maps to give. They got two.
But you don't want to make it easy. You just want to end this series right here.
For sure.
You don't want to get in that mindset to like, oh, it's fine, guys. No, it's like, make that fight for every inch. That's what you've got to be as Florida Mayhem right here, because Justice could very well come back. Oh, what a hit.
Nice. All right, there's the opening that you needed. They trade it. It's all good, though.
You did your job, Merit. We're not going to protect you anymore.
I got my one. It's all good. Not a free ult charge, though, for FD God, mind you.
So
they are living. They do need to kill them. They are getting wiped slowly. Okay, there you go. Another nemesis from someone. Pretty hard to miss those punches. And Mira is finally dead, but FD God gets a beat off of that.
That's 1 minute off the clock. Like, Justice, you take those. I think that's an above average spawn hold, even though Merit got an instant opening pick. The cleanup took forever. It was kind of weirdly lacking. Couldn't get the focus fire to take down that second kill. Really shut down Washington Justice synergy. And FD God did a great job, just constantly hitting throughout that fight. He's got a big lead on the beat. We'll see if Justice, they might want to get aggressive here.
I think Justice have been more than happy to just push the aggression up to 100, especially when they have a sound barrier advantage. We'll see if FD God just wants to run in again with sound barrier. It doesn't look like it right now. It's more of a defensive hold. There's the beat. Oh, it doesn't catch out before he goes down to the window. Sound barrier only connected with 4. There's the annihilation from someone. It's just ripping and tearing the backline. However, that health pack is doing a lot of work actually for the Justice, keeping Teru alive. However, with the backing off of the rest of the Justice, it did leave Mira isolated on the payload. They will get it going, but I mean, again, another nice fight from the Justice there. They only use one ult, they are able to stall for longer, and they can reset.
Yeah, the damage from the window coming out way too fast for FD God's beat is kind of tough for Alpha to get bursted like that. Now you're on the retake, you have good ults to work with. This team fight, critical for the outcome of the map. Florida, you really want to win this one.
Annihilation, there's the beat, catches 5. Alfie's on the point though, in trouble. Looks like Checkmate was just kind of hanging around the right-hand little cave there. FD God is trying to check him. Dragon Strike on the point, but that's about it. It's only FD God juggling at this point right now. He do be dancing, but the shoes have fallen off. Teru, Flora, they're all dead, and the point has been unlocked.
That's great awareness from Checkmate, solo blizzarding Alfie when he's in the ice block, because it's not possible as May to come out of that block and use your own ult. You're going to get stunned out of it. So they know Alfie has that blizzard, they know it's a crucial ult, and so they expend heavily to deny him getting it out, gets them the cap, and now Alfie, I mean, he wishes he got a chance to use that blizzard last fight. He wishes they could have gone for the first hold. It might be valuable here again, but I mean, it's just not the cycle you want to be in as a Washington Justice.
Drop down speed blizzard, or maybe go main speed blizzard.
it's just hard. Like, you don't want to be running in here on attack, but you kind of have to. You really want to use this Blizzard.
Yeah. Right. Both Nemesis forms have been traded. Annihilation for someone is pretty soon. Again, just a ridiculous hold.
I think this is the right play from Alpha. It just shows how rough it is not getting his Blizzard off in the last fight. You don't want to go aggressive here as the defense. You just want to hold this position. So Florida is free to kind of just charge up all their ultimates. They're happy to slow things down just a little bit here.
Yeah. Like Alfie's awareness there, just keeping an eye on the flank. Yeah, because that'll happen. What a sonic arrow there from Flora. However, enough time for Mayhem to build up towards that Annihilation. They just run straight to the back line. Someone in Chong just running them down, and Alpha E with no ice block. Will be 2 kills, maybe even a third here for the Annihilation, or the Ramantre even. And Alpha E dying with the Blizzard is pretty rough, but they're chipping a lot of this time bank away, Jake.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but I love that play from the Florida Mayhem. Merritt goes in for that flank. He does get punished, but because Justice turned around for that, Florida, they weren't relying on just Merritt going alone, and oh no, they're going to catch Flora here. He's still caught in the flank.
I mean, maybe. Oh, just going to lob the Blizzard. They're just going to yeet it into the backline, yeah. I mean, you might as well. You're going to get a free checkpoint on this, you'd imagine. Teru and Flora already dead. That shield didn't quite cover Teru. There was just a sliver where you could shoot arrows and projectiles through. So there you go. There is the cap on second. 3.5 minutes. A very familiar time bank already now. Nice kill on Checkmate. Shouldn't matter too much though. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit slowing down here, but that was such great awareness going in before the fight, just denying Justice the recontest. And they've got 5 ults, which is a great place to be, but with 3 minutes on the clock, you know, sitting on this huge bank doesn't necessarily feel the best. Like, same on first, right? You would have loved to actually fight for that checkpoint, get a chance at resetting the enemy from a far spawn.
Sandbar is available for both squads, but Justice have 5 ults. 5 whole ultimates. Free range.
Sometimes it's hard here, right? It's easy to overall in a situation with the Justice. It's easy to just panic and pop multiple ults. You've got to be very clean about popping them one at a time. It's just window for Dragon. Close fight.
Yeah, both Dragons have been used.
But, I mean, that's a 2-for-1, right? Like, Florida, like, they're trading down. That's what they want to do.
Good value trades. Oh, he's trying. There's the Blizzard from Alfie. He is pretty low, but someone again has been caught. A nicely timed sound barrier from the Mayhem. They're just going to be able to run this one down now, you'd imagine. A sound barrier, however, from the Justice. A later one, in fact. And the Florida Mayhem, I think they've run out of wares to sell right now. I mean, they've got this Annihilation, but that's about it. It's both from Archers looking at each other. This ticking damage has to kill someone at some point. Eventually, Alfie is dead, and Mira is trying his darndest to kill someone who eventually is slain, but it took so long. 2 minutes for the Mayhem to finish this final fight.
And we're just like 90 seconds after the second point cap. Justice, they've used all 5 ults. Sure, they're coming up on the next Amplification Matrix, could help them out in this fight, but Checkmate has a Blizzard. That's a really strong team fight ultimate. Mirror, he's got to be so cautious to not get caught out here by an ice wall. It's going to be really rough for Justice to go aggressive. Flora, this is a big moment to find an opening pick because this is Florida's tempo. You really want to pick to stifle that.
Yeah, you mess with it. You'd think it would be an OT finish for the Florida Mayhem. Or report, I mean, that was... I would not do that in front of Flora, that is for sure. Ice block already forced. Checkmate a bit more vulnerable now. Can't really go for this kind of jump in Blizzard, hit yourself into the ice block. Even uses the wall, so Florida Mayhem very tempered in their aggression right now as the window comes out from Teru. And with Checkmate dead, Mayhem have to go again now. There is a good kill onto Flora, but Jake, the spawn positions are way too close and they've lost their key ultimate to win the fight.
Yeah, that was a little opportunity for tempo, but the poke was too good from Justice. Again, that slow fallback as Florida's pushing in, poking them so effectively that they just can't find an opening to go in, right? As you said, Checkmate, he's using his cooldowns one after the other just to stay alive through the spam. And so now, Justice, they bridged the gap. That was the hard fight where they were down at ultimates. This is going to be another high ultimate fight. It's just a question of who can team fight better, who can get those resources out early.
Looks like Checkmate and someone are stepping up. There's the Blizzard. The wall is good, but the Dragon Strike is going to help cover for someone. He's still alive somehow. Mirror's in the backline though. He was just wailing away at him, and the Annihilation is just going to tear through that overhealth. I mean, the Florida Mayhem, they're on their last limbs with 15 seconds to go. Checkmate has managed to make it out alive. Same with Chorong, who's on the side. He needs to be able to get out and get that retouch.
So scrappy.
He's off the map.
Florida.
He's off the map completely. A beautiful shot from Flora. Takes his head clean off and just pins it to the backboard. Can Merit someone RuPaul, anybody touch. It looks like Checkmate is on the payload right now, forcing OT.
Can you really win this, though? Florida, they're just so staggered. It's so awkward.
The Suzu
now it's time
is
for
good enough.
come
And
in.
yeah, the Justice. I mean, they've even got a window if they want to use it. The Annihilation is the only tool left in the bank for the Mayhem, but you're going to have to hold your arms up against that overwhelming amount of damage from the Amplification Matrix. And that should be about it. Chorong dead, and looks like a mini Hanzo 1v1 in the backline there. The turnaround starts now for the Justice as they take their map pick in Shambali Monastery.
That was what they had to do to keep themselves alive, but now they're facing a very difficult test. Florida, 2 potential map picks in a row, able to take it back to their comfort zone, right? Like, sure, Justice, you can win on this rush one-trick comp, great. But now, can you repeat that on push and control? 2 maps where, with the map pick, you know, you can make it really difficult for the enemy to play rush. Justice, they have to show that they can take this dive mirror if they want to punch their ticket to Korea.
Well, it's going to be a close one, that is for sure. We're going to jump to a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a bit.
Oh, pain. Only pain. Woo.
The reverse sweep starts now for the Justice, a 3-2 on Shambali Monastery. But we're going to the map pick of the Mayhem, and it's going to be Esperanza.
No surprise, Justice, you had your fun playing Ramatra. Now we're going back to the Winston map. And, I mean, this is a map Florida has looked really clean on before. This is a comp they know back to front. They're going to have no problems swapping it up, dealing with any kind of counter picks Justice bring out. This is the true test, I think, for players like Alfie, and particularly, I think, for the backline of the Washington Justice. They look great on the Batiste, on the Lucio, playing a rush comp, but do they look as good on the Brig and the Ana? Are they as strong? Because the dives are going to be coming in fast and furious from the Florida Mayhem.
Yeah, they're going to need a double shift for sure to get back into this one, especially on a dive map. I mean, at the end of the day, you are in a situation you are 2 maps down, and like you said, Jake, just before we went to break, I mean, even if they take this one, it's another map choice for the Mayhem in that game number 5. Mayhem are close to potentially getting revenge against the Gladiators to book their tickets to the mid-season madness. It's rough stuff, man. It's rough stuff. It's interesting to see the Florida Mayhem this far down in the bracket, but you can see how they've, over the last couple of days at least, like shored up their game. They look so good on Hollywood, like a full hold, no ticks were given. At the very end, maybe a little bit trolling with the hands, so, you know, they didn't end up winning it with the Sombra in the end, but their team is just clearly built from the ground up, built for success. I mean, every single player has had their standout moments this tournament so far.
Yeah, definitely, and I think this is going to be the hardest map for the Justice. I think it's a very straightforward map. It's about who's better at the game, who's better at comps that probably I don't see swapping very often, you know? And I think if they can bridge the gap here, find the way to get a win, maybe some huge hyper carry out of Alfie and Flora, maybe they can do it. And then once you can go to the Koth, no matter what Florida pick, it's a much more cheesable map type. You know, you can maybe, there's most Koths, there's at least one map you can bring out the Rush, if not 2. You can run some more inventive stuff, maybe mirror on the Queen, the Doomfist, use some of that flexibility. This is the hard one. This is the one, personally, I just don't see anything else being viable other than Winston on this map. Yeah. This is a Winston Sombra Tracer map. This is the map where the strong teams, this is why it's map pick format, right? Like, we're going to take you to Esperanza. If you can't win on Winston comp, you go home. And I think this is absolutely the right decision from the Florida Mayhem. This is the type of mindset that could potentially take them a long way in Seoul, Korea, if they can win this, if they can take down the Gladiators in that next series.
We're getting to map in just a moment. I believe we're just loading in. Just waiting for a few settings to be tweaked, I'd imagine, but yeah, all good. The Winston maps have just been so clean. I mean, someone his Primal Rage is just spectacular. I mean, there's been a lot of conversation who's the best Winston player in North America right now in the NA region. And like, Fearless is obviously up there, probably rank 1, right? But he's just been proving himself, I think, year after year at this point. Ever since he joined the league, he's been kind of a superstar, really. And I think people didn't really expect him to be that. It's like, okay, cool. Like, a really good player coming from contenders, how are they going to compete in the league? And he's just shot up there to be one of the best Winstons we have.
Yeah, really, I see 3 players like that on the Florida Mayhem. I think Merritt, someone, RuPaul, all came into the league. People were varying degrees of excited about them. They were sort of unknowns. They all had great opening seasons, and now they're together with Checkmate Chorong, players with a little bit more veterancy behind them. I mean, that's the foundation for a really great roster with a ton of potential, and we are going to see pretty straightforward mirror match here. See if Chorong ends up sticking to the Lucio or just speeds out and goes Brig. I wouldn't mind to see the Brig here. Yeah, I think this will be a straight up mirror. And for Mirror on the Washington Justice, I'm honestly a little worried. Like, his regular Winston gameplay is solid, but like you said, it's the Primal Rage where we separate like the elite Winstons from the players picking it up and doing their best on it. And so for Mirror, I think when his Primals come out, we're gonna need to see some magic from him. He's got to be threatening because Chorong and RuPaul don't make it easy on him.
It reminds me of the old meme, like the DPS Primal meme. It's like they echo copy Primal, and it's like, yeah, you're a DPS player.
HP. I will push the car.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my Primal. You got to do better than that. That's a bad standard. Oh, nice isolation.
Love to see that, RuPaul. Explorer is not loving to see that at all. He's in an eternal slumber now. Nice start off for the Mayhem. And now they're just pushing their advantage on the high ground. The boy has been unlocked. No one touching it right now. I'd love to see a little bit of payload push and a little bit of someone not dying too. Ooh, had to burn the bubble there, which kind of sucks, but
yeah, slows his tempo a little bit.
All fine.
So far, not much happening. Even off the back of that Sombra pick, they had to turn so far back to shut down Flora. It didn't end up being that valuable for them. But the Ultra Charge is going to heavily favor Merritt. Going to have first EMP more than likely here.
You would imagine so, especially with Flora going down that early. Nice hack onto Alpha Yi. A lot of Tracers saving their double blink when they know there's a Sombra nearby. Dive in from someone. Terror was in trouble, but he had the backup. And Alpha Yi just turning tail and helping his teammate. Pulse bomb. As well as that nano coming up for the Washington Justice. FD God does go down, but yeah, Checkmate's going to follow him.
Yeah, now Mira slept. This is a knockdown, drag-out brawl. Still, both teams fighting, very scrappy. Both teams losing players, and honestly, losing that break could be pretty painful here. Definitely reduces your heal resources, makes you much more vulnerable to that dive. As someone, there is a nano boost on the cards here. You could be seeing this dive coming very soon.
Yeah, he is pretty low. Oh, nice nade. Light Room. Can he get away? Yes. Bit of a missed dive there by Mira. Not sure if he was supposed to hit high ground, but he has got the nano applied to him, so it looked like he got booped. EMP from Merit as Mira's trying to find some sort of purchase here, but no, left the store empty-handed by the looks of it. EMP from Merit was just too clean. There was no backup there for the Justice to try and see through this fight.
Oh, nice bubble to save him.
Oh, what? He put down the shield there. The Kobe to tag onto FD God. It's the lead taken now for the Florida Mayhem.
Yeah.
If they get more kills here, this would be a crazy stagger if they get Terror.
Oh, they're going to take
the sleep.
here.
Yeah, they got it.
Sleep is death now, I think, for Justice. And even Mirror might go down. No, okay. A little bit of conservative. But, oh, whoa!
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I don't know about that.
EMP double bling straight into Chorong's death.
You get Chorong,
but Mira's dead.
But that's not what you need. You need like to decisively reset the momentum, and now Florida, I mean, yeah, they're gonna maybe soft reset, but they have ult. They might just go without their brig. You don't need that hero too badly to dive into the backline.
Oh, good stick though from Alpha Yi. Wow, this guy is just a menace. These sticks hasn't got recall. He's gonna get primaled by someone. You don't see that every day. Someone with the primal rage on a Tracer. Mira is gonna at least kill Checkmate, I suppose, but again, these trades are kind of bad for the Justice, Jake. Merit has EMP in 20%.
Yeah, and Merit spending that whole time pushing the car little by little. One more fight for Florida and they could get that checkpoint online. And I mean, that was, again, these fights extremely scrappy. I think Justice, they're kind of happy with this. It enables their DPS to be big difference makers when it's not just like a cross dive situation. But they need to do better than this. So far, it's not enough to actually swing the momentum, and big ults. Now Nano coming in on someone.
Yeah, Nano on someone. Mira trying to look for him. EMP's good. However, can they chew through this rally armor? It doesn't look like they're going to be able to. I think someone decided to just kind of leave, just flirted with the idea of getting in their faces, but that EMP, 0 people. I managed to take down.
It's a good trade for Justice.
Oh, Mira jumps out with the Nano naded as well, and he ends up going down mid-air. Oh, it's disaster. I mean, Justice looking like they're crumbling. These ults are just not on the same page. The Florida Mayhem just going to be able to steamroll this now. This will be first checkpoint, for sure.
Yeah, and these late picks as well. I think they might make even further progress after Bot takes a second to scratch his butt. Or maybe he can stall for like half a second and TP out here. He does have this EMP almost available. This could help them a little bit. But again, just a checkpoint here would be so big for Florida.
Yeah, they got it.
You've got to have a good EMP. This is the EMP to redeem yourself with Florida. You have to turn the momentum around here. If Florida win one more fight, we just enter this territory where the map becomes very, very difficult to turn around. And you have to play so clean when you fall behind like that. But he's in position. He snuck through very effectively. Oh, and
he got Transicated too.
But his TP with both TPs were found.
Both TPs down. Oh no, he's just getting smacked. Oh, lights clean out.
Merit returns the favor.
Nice stuff. All right, Chorong. Good heads up play there from Chorong, just chasing that kill down. Pulse bomb from Alpha Yi.
This guy is single-handedly keeping them in.
He is.
Like, without him, this series is over already, I think.
Solo carry, solo carry. They're going to reset, but they've still got checkpoint, Jake, in 75 meters.
Yeah, it might not be enough. Individual heroics. Oh my god, he's just caught sleeping there a little bit.
Caught lack.
I mean, Florida, they don't let off the pressure. Even when they lose players, they still fight for map control. They're not afraid to sort of challenge 4v5 and slow things down for the Justice. Their spawners are already going to be back. And again, this EMP for Florida, it has to be crucial. He's not anywhere near ready to use it. Florida, they're just happy to run down the clock right now.
They really are. He was just setting up his Transicator, I think. So now he's on that high ground. He's set up now. EMP come at any moment. There it is, straight onto Chorong. But look at those health bars. They didn't drop below 50%. A nano boost onto Chorong, a whip shot onto Mira, so he's nowhere to be found in that fight. Just a Herculean attempt there to redeem himself, but Flora falls flat.
so crucial that Chorong hits that boop. Not really about separating the damage, but oh, and okay, this dive is bad.
Well, Chorong really is the $1 million man.
Yeah, but getting that boot before the EMP comes in means you get that heal proc at the crucial moment. You and your Ana are just going to have much more HP to work with, and oh no, they're getting chased down. Oh, Taro does catch out Checkmate, who misses the pulse. There could be some kind of opening as Flora goes to the Ashe. What are you doing, Flora?
Well, FD God's going to rally. They end up popping their own. There's the EMP from Merit. It does hit 3. FD God's antied and rallying, but he still has that armor they need to get through. Can they, and do they have enough damage? A rare miss pulse bomb there from Alpha Yi, but FD God was chased down. And with Merit also super low, I mean, Teru's in a decent spot for him to be dived. And look at that, instantly someone sees him, jumps on him. There's no backup here, as FD God was already dead. Alpha Yi has been slain, and well, we've got an Ashe on the field now from Flora, but even he's been poked out. The superior sniper in RuPaul on the Ana, 90 meters and counting.
This Ashe pick is terrible. Okay. Even if it works out and you get some kills, you're so far behind. You need to win fights cleanly, and introducing one more hero to your comp that is vulnerable to being dove and traded. Even if you're winning fights, you have to keep your whole team alive, and Ashe makes that so difficult to do. I mean, this is Justice crumbling at the seams. I just don't see them coming back with this comp. I think it's a terrible error.
Well, there's the dive. Lucky Teru got a nade off, but unluckily, there's the amount of damage that Mayhem can put out is just gigantic. 100 meters plus. Mira's dead. This Ashe, Jake, maybe it gets a Bob here, but even Bob, I don't think, can save the Washington Justice at this point. I mean, they're making their final push right now.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, Florida doesn't need to full cap this. There's no real reason to do that. They might go for it just because they're feeling confident, and why not? I mean, your lead is truly enormous. You have a lot of progress to kind of play with here. It's just so difficult for Justice. Like, sure, you can sit back. Ashe gets one, but like, now you have to win the fight without anybody dying. That's the challenge for Justice. If you lose a player, it's really rough. Flora already low.
A Grandmaster level challenge. Oh, checkmate getting checked. Just a normal check though, no checkmate. Oh, look, someone to the right.
Great save by
oh my
there.
God, you see him B-hop there? Call him Mario. Well, there's the Bob. He's kind of chilling, but he's not doing much. It was in the small room, and I think they're just using it to proc the Inspire. I think it's actually helping them more than it's hindering them right now with that rally. 3 ults to go. Merit setting up with an EMP, and it's going to be massive. Teru instantly descended upon. There is backup there in the form of FD God. They do kill Teru, but is this enough? FD God dies with this rally up. He hits the rally to try and save the fight and just dies with it. 1 minute to go for the Justice. Jake, they're looking at winning maybe 10 fights in a row to come back into this one. This will be the comeback of the century if they manage this.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem with Ashe, though. This is like the best case scenario for Ashe. She is finding kills, she is finding value, but her teammates just can never stay alive because you're introducing one more hero that needs care. Going back to the summer, I think is a good choice, but I think this Ashe coming out was a mistake at all. And now, as you said, we're going to be in an overtime situation. Justice, they have no margin for error whatsoever. This is like a 99-1 advantage. Mayhem about to go to that next match.
Good sleep by RuPaul. He does get woken up, but I think Mira thinking about better things right now than diving that back line. Doesn't really want to mess with them too much. Nano boost onto someone, and FD God's already dead. Nano boost onto Mira. It's just going to be Nano Winston's all over the place. They do end up trading, but it's not going to be good enough. The Washington Justice, they're just getting torn apart. The overtime is going to tick down, and someone just juggles Mira into another universe as the Mayhem now get their chance for revenge against the Gladiators in the knockout finals.
Impressive performance from the Florida Mayhem. We heard from insiders on the team that, okay, that first opening match against the Gladiators, it was a mistake. They slipped up. They were off their game. And I'm a player talent who's quick to throw that out. I'm like, I don't believe you. You threw your match. You got 3-0. They're a better team. But performances like this make me start to believe. And I think if you're the Gladiators, after getting rocked 3-0 by Boston Uprising, you're feeling a little bit scared for a rematch that was so easy last time. Maybe too easy.
Yeah, a little 3-0 from the Gladiators earlier on in the knockouts. We'll see if Florida Mayhem enact their revenge. I mean, the Justice do end up going down here, but they made it a fair way in the knockouts. Pretty good plays all around. I mean, Alpha Yi also had a stellar game. I mean, he was landing some insane post bombs.
Like,
he was
cannot
keeping them in
criticize Alpha Yi.
Yeah.
I think it's just a question where, you know, it's just the relative strength of these teams. I think Justice, they should be proud of coming this far. I think they've done really well for what their expectations were as a team. We could see them, you know, retooling, maybe in a more of like a rush focus meta. They can play it all the time. Maybe playoffs look better for them. But now their journey ends here, and it's Florida still trying to fight for that ticket to Korea.
Yeah, Florida, an uncharacteristic loss against the Gladiators. But let's have a look at our player of the match before the desk could take it away and break that one down. Today, it's going to be Checkmate.
He was so clean. I mean, that opening pulse on the first map. Oh, now here we're going to see it, I bet.
Oh, yeah, on the Tracer.
I mean, this is one of those things that just, it sets a tone on Tracer. It sets a tone. It let him know. All right, I'll just stick you. Use recall, I'll just stick you. You know, it's like very rare play, but Checkmate was so on point this series. A lot of people, I think, have criticized Checkmate as like, okay, he's not really in that like elite category of Tracers. But I just think of Checkmate as a player as he's that ultra flexible player. You know, it's when you go to the Mei, the Reaper, these like brawl heroes where I think he looks at his best. He can bring out the Echo. Oh, but his Tracer is solid.
Look at that attach rate.
Oh my. I mean,
75% attach rate in 22 minutes.
And this is what you want from your Tracer in the current meta. It's the pulse bombs. It's not really the, you know, sure, dominating the Tracer 1v1 is impactful, but usually just one Brig Pack is going to turn that around anyway. It's the pulse bombs that make the huge difference. Those are that opening picks that just deny some crucial utility from the enemy team. And Checkmate was providing that in spades. 75% is a ridiculous attach rate. This match was a beatdown, largely because of that.
Ridiculous.
That's
inhuman levels of attach rate.
That's
in
no
22 minutes of that match time, he gets that, and then he's nearing like 3 pulse bomb kills as well per 10, like really low deaths. You kind of expect that from a Tracer, but just a freak of beast, honestly, on that pick. And you want to replicate that in your next match against the Gladiators.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit of a tougher test. I think this time the Gladiators more of an all-around roster. Maybe the support line, I think, on the Gladiators a little bit more difficult to deal with, which I think is the most important factor when it comes to your success on Tracer. How strong are those enemy supports? How difficult are they to stick? How good is that Brig really at shielding you, at marking you? Yeah. And I think Gladiators will be no slouches on that front. And even though it may have been a slip-up, it was a 3-0 last time. So Gladiators shouldn't be worried about this matchup. I think we could see a great matchup.
Yeah, they definitely got tripped up. A lot of that was like on Kai, on Hollywood. They were already unable to take down that Ashe. I wonder if they've kind of reviewed that game just a little bit. I'm sure Gumba is in the back room somehow, watching VODs at 10x speed, getting all the information, and then just piling it onto their players so they know how to play. I mean, there will be a swift break here as well, or not swift. It'll be a little bit of an elongated break here just before we get into this last game. The Gladiators versus the Mayhem. After this, we'll see you in a bit.
Florida drops the Justice out of the bracket. And speaking of drops, badum. So watching the Contenders Spring Series Finals, which are starting on June the 9th, which is very soon. So check out overwatchleague.com/path2pro for more information on everything you need to know. That Genji skin.
Yeah, it's good.
So good.
Slick.
So slick, and it's green.
Clean.
Yeah.
Green and clean.
Almost worthy of replacing the mythic skin.
Oh, that's
know about
the
that.
hot take you have ever heard one, honestly. I think our predictions for the first one.
Yeah, we're right.
First, aged really well. We did give the Justice one map each, and that is exactly what they got in the end. Mayhem continued to look very dominant. Again, such a different look from the Mayhem than what we saw on the very first day. Then again, that must have been the weird exception. It must have been a very off day. Like what?
I can't explain what happened against the Gladiators.
I don't think they can either.
Yeah.
No, someone did say that it was them like sort of being nervous, right? And also.
No, that's not. I'm not buying that so much.
Well, I mean,
off
they
days.
had two matches after their loss, after their 3-0 loss against Gladiators, and they
But
are proving
nervous
themselves to be, they're not.
nervous.
It was just like a one-off kind of thing,
Yeah.
You just fumble. Like you can just have an off day, but you don't need to like. Don't give me the nervous BS. I'm not buying that one.
We suck today. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Yeah, literally. Sometimes
today they
you
were
win some,
amazing.
you lose some, and they lost some, and now they're winning some. So let's talk about how they got it done. Let's talk about the bright spots in this very match for both sides, honestly. So.
I mean, this just
stood
looked
out.
like a cohesive beatdown by
Love
Florida
that.
Mayhem. I mean, they just came straight off the bat, just dominated the Washington Justice. And I thought it would be a little bit closer. Maybe Alpha E would show up on the Tracer and like give Checkmate a run for his money. But all three maps were just pretty dominant. That Hollywood was just like pretty. Like it felt over.
Yeah,
So now they get to play the Gladiators.
Yeah.
True.
And not only
Yeah,
that, like,
rematch.
what was it? What was Checkmate's pulse bomb attachment?
75%.
75%.
That's ridiculous. It's like literally that only happens
What is that
when
man
the
on
targets
today?
are not moving. But they did move. So
Yeah.
no, they're really stepping it up, and they have to because they do go up against the LA Gladiators again. It's going to be a rematch. I am very interested to hear what they have to say, not just about this series, but also, of course, about this match going forward. So, Danny, you ready for a winner's interview?
I am ready.
Well, perfect.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Post-match interview, we got none other than the player of the match, Checkmate, from Florida Mayhem. Checkmate, congratulations on getting the win. I do feel like you guys came in very prepared, and you guys definitely looked unstoppable today against the Washington Justice. So was there sort of a weakness that you guys saw in the Washington Justice that sort of helped you guys get the win today against them? 자, 오늘 승리를 축하드리면서 제가 경기를 보는 내내 봤던 것 중에 되게 준비가 잘 됐다라는 프로데가 지금 워싱턴 상대로 좀 그런 생각이 많이 들었던 것 같아요. 좀 이제 워싱턴과의 경기를 위해서 좀 어떻게 준비를 했고 또 좀 특별한 약점 같은 게 좀 보였나요? 워싱턴에서?
워싱턴 저는 솔직히 말해서 크게는 준비 안 했고요. 저희 글래디한테 져가지고 복수하기 위해 글래디전만 준비했습니다.
To be honest, against the Washington Justice, there wasn't a lot of preparation went into this match. We really wanted to shift our focus to the Gladiators because we lost to them before. And of course, we wanted that revenge against them. So we focused a lot into our next match, or the match that is coming up against the Gladiators. Talking about Gladiators, I think that's going to be my final question. I want to keep this short because you guys do have another match. Your final match before your ticket to Korea is going to be against the Los Angeles Gladiators. What are you going to, I guess, what is Florida Mayhem going to do differently this time around? Because like you mentioned, this is sort of a rematch, and I know you guys want that revenge. So what can the Florida Mayhem do differently to get that revenge and go to Korea? 자, 마지막